Hi guys, and welcome back to My Whatever. And in case you're new here, my name's Lady. This is My Whatever, the place where I do whatever I feel like. And in today's video, I'm gonna do a book haul. Now I know it wasn't that long ago that I did a book haul. However, I went book shopping. That is a thing that I did. Recently, my daughter started cheerleading, and she had to go to a stunt clinic where they taught her cartwheels and stuff, the simple things, because she is only 6 years old. This is her first year as a cheerleader, so she's learning the beginner stuff, nothing advanced and crazy. But I had to take her, and it wasn't where her practices normally are. We had to travel to it. So I took her and I dropped her off, and then I had an hour and a half to kill. So like with drive time, I decided to go to a bookstore. So with drive time, the hour and a half quickly became, I had 45 minutes at the bookstore. I did a lot in the 45 minutes at the bookstore. So I'm going to try to keep this as short and sweet as I can, as some of the books that I bought are parts of series that I already have and or have shown you bits of in previous book hauls. So I won't spend too much time on those. So yeah. Let's get to it. The first one that I want to point out is one that I do believe I showed in one of the last two book hauls. And I can never keep track of what I have and what I don't. I did start a Excel document, a spreadsheet, to keep track of what I have and what I want to have, but the problem is I didn't finish it because I got bored. So I took pictures of my bookshelves, and yet for some reason I missed taking a picture of the ones I already had. And then also, my last two book hauls that I did, those books have not been put on my bookshelves. So I didn't have pictures. So I kind of, at the store, was like an annoying person, and I had to get my phone out, and I had to scroll, like not only scroll through the pictures that I had taken on my bookshelves, but I also had to fast forward through my previous book hauls because I realized something. The last two that I didn't put the titles of the books and their authors in the descriptions. I'm sorry about that. I will make sure to do it this time, and I will, when I get the time, maybe sometime this week, I will go back to the other videos and I will add those in. I'm very sorry about that. I didn't realize that I forgot until I needed it. So anyway, now that I'm rambling on, the first book that I'm going to start with is Artemis Fowl, The Lost Colony. And this is one, they had a bunch of the Artemis Fowl books, but this was the only one that they had that I knew that I didn't have. Because two of them, the Opal Deception and the Arctic Incident, I know for a fact I have, especially the Opal Deception, because I actually have two copies of those because I bought it a second time, not realizing that I already had it. And then I also know that I own the first one because it was in a previous video that I was fast forwarding through. So this was the only one that they had that day. By the way, the bookstore I went to was a used bookstore, so their inventory is always changing. So I could only get what they had. And this is the only one of the collection that they had that I knew I didn't already have. So that's that. Artemis Fowl, basically it's a kid who gets himself into trouble. He kidnaps a fairy, and a lot of stuff goes downhill, and a whole book series came of it. So that's what that is. Next. Alright, this next collection you have also seen in some of my previous book hauls, and the funny thing about this one is the books that I do have of this, I have most of them twice, as a similar thing happened as to the last one. I thought I didn't have them, and I got them home and I realized that I did. And this was before I had taken pictures of the bookshelves, because these ones are in fact in pictures on my phone. So I won't be making that mistake again of buying multiples of this. So of this collection, I was missing 3 books. Of those 3 books, they only had one of them. So this is of the Pendragon series by D.J.MacHale. This is book 9, Raven Rise. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the last book, the Artemis Fowl, was by Eoin Colfer, I think. I'll put the spelling below because I will actually put it down there this time. So like I said, this Pendragon, the Raven Rise is book 9 out of 10. And the Pendragon series is basically following a boy named Bobby Pendragon who discovers that he must travel through time to prevent the destruction of the 10 territories. I don't know what those 10 territories are, as I have not actually started reading any of these, but I hope to learn more about it once I do start. However, I wonder, because he must travel through time to prevent destruction of 10 territories, there are 10 books, I wonder if that means it's one book per territory. That would make sense. Next, the next batch of books that I got are, you have also seen one other of these books in a previous book haul, however this time I bought 3. I'm not sure how many there are in this collection, but this collection is from the Charlie Bone series, also titled The Red King, because I guess Charlie Bone is a descendant of the Red King, and him and other descendants attend Blore Academy. It is a magical school, and crazy stuff happens and they deal with it. I have seen it compared to Harry Potter in the sense that it is a young boy going to a magical school, dealing with all the things that happen and go down. So I really like Harry Potter, so I'm hopeful that I really like these as well. But the ones that I have been buying are the ones titled Charlie Bone. I have heard that whether you get Charlie Bone or the Red King, as far as the title, they are the same books. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is my understanding, that being titled the Red King or Charlie Bone, they're the same stories. So the ones that I got are, I got book 3, 4, and 5. They're marked on the side. Okay, cool. So book 3 is Charlie Bone and the Invisible Boy. Book 4 is Charlie Bone and the Castle of Mirrors. Sorry, there's that glare there. And book 5 is Charlie Bone and the Hidden King. Notice these are Scholastic books. And they are by Nimmo. I believe I'm saying that right because when I Googled it. And that's how Google pronounced it. So we're going to say it's Nimmo. So that's what these are. Next, these next ones I have seen on shelves before. I mean, this is a relatively old series, so it's not like I've seen them on Instagram or whatever, but I've seen them on shelves before at bookstores and just regular stores in their book sections, and I've been interested in them. I know I've had some friends who have read them before, and I've just never gotten around to it, so I finally did. And anyway, this series it's the House of Night series, and anyway, they're vampire novels, and the ones that I got, they're not marked as far as numbers, so I'm gonna have to figure that out, but they're Untamed, Chosen, and marked. According to the back of Untamed, it shows the books you also need in the series. It looks like the one that I'm missing is Betrayed. I don't know if there are any more than that. But anyway, this series is by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. And anyway, it's a magical world where the main girl, she's just been marked as a fledgling vampire, and she is going to She's going to school. Oh, the House of Night. Yeah. Okay, so she's going to the House of Night school to learn how to be a proper vampire, how to be an adult vampire. So that's what these are about. I haven't really read any vampire novels in a long time. I did read more of them in high school. Since then, the only thing with any vampire or vampire-esque types of readings that I have read are books by Sherilyn Kenyon, her Chronicles of Nick and her Dark Dream and Werehunter books. Those are the closest that I have gotten, and even the characters in those books aren't necessarily considered vampires. They are just, I would say, inspired by, because they're very similar. So anyway, those are what I got here. Next. Alright, and this one is the last one that is another of one that you have seen in a previous book haul. So, and I believe it was my last book haul, I got a book titled Pegasus, and when I bought it I didn't realize that it was one of multiples. Well, I found the second one. I found book 2. I don't know if book 1 and 2 are all that there is. There might be more, I don't know. But the bookstore that I went to had another copy of book 1, and it had book 2. So anyway, book 2 is Pegasus Olympus at War. And it is by Kate O'Haron. Looks fancy, doesn't it? And anyway, basically, the main character, Emily Jacobs, Pegasus, there's a hair, sorry. Pegasus crashed onto her roof one day and changed her life forever. And quite frankly, I would say if one day Pegasus crashed onto my roof, my life would be changed forever, whether or not anything crazy happened after that moment or not. So, but not only did he crash on her roof, he crashed onto her roof in New York, that busy city. So what all can her and Pegasus get into in New York? Next. Now this one is written by an author that I know. If you do follow my book channel, link in the description, where I read books, a chapter goes up every single day. The first series that I did over there was called 11 Thumps, and it was by the author Obert Skye. Well, he has written other collections since then, and one of them that he has done was titled Pillage. And I think that's a trilogy of 3 books. And anyway, so I found the first one. I found Pillage by Obert Skye. It even says at the top, best-selling author of 11 Thumps. So I found that one. I don't know anything about it except that it's about dragons and that it's written by an author that I really like. Let's see if I can get an idea. There's no doubt about it. Beck Phillips' life has taken a turn for the weird. Moving in with his filthy rich uncle in Kingsplot might not be so bad, except his uncle is crazy, obsessed with dragons, and refuses to come out of the attic. So, I think he's obsessed with dragons for a reason, because I don't know, but based on this cover and the cover of the other ones that I have seen on the interwebs before, I think that dragons might be real. Next. Now this next one was frustrating me while I was at the store, because for whatever strange reason, they had probably 50 copies of this book. Like the entire top shelf of the YA section was copies of this book. And the reason it bothers me so much is because it was book 2. And nowhere did they have a copy of book 1. I looked and looked and looked and I just could not find it. So I'm going to be on a hunt for it. And really, this one, the only thing that drew my eye to this book was one, I feel like I've seen it on the interweb somewhere. Be it Instagram, Facebook, something. I feel like I've seen it somewhere. The cover looked familiar to me. And also the fact that there were 50 copies of it. So I just felt like I had to have it. I'm like, there are 50 copies of this book. Plenty that if I take one, someone else can have it too. So anyway, this one is called Beautiful Darkness. It is book 2. Book 1 was called Beautiful Creatures. And these are the Castor Chronicles by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stohl. And this one is Ethan used to think Gatlin, the small southern town he had always called home, as a place where nothing ever changed. Then he met a mysterious newcomer Lena Dutchins, who revealed a secret world that had been hidden in plain sight all along. A Gatlin that harbored ancient secrets beneath its moss-covered oaks and cracked sidewalks. A Gatlin where a curse has marked Lena's family of powerful supernaturals for generations. A Gatlin where impossible magic, life-altering events happen. Sometimes life-ending. So, this stays with my theme. I like books about magic. And yeah, magic and mythology is my theme, and this sticks with it. So, I'm glad that the collection drew my attention, and then the cover kept it. So, next, this one. When I first saw the title, it sounded like something that I had heard of before, but then when I actually picked it up, I don't think so. I think I was mistaking it for something else. However, I did go ahead and read the back of the book, and it still sounded interesting enough for me to go ahead and buy. So I went ahead and got it. And anyway, this one by Chris Wooding is titled Storm Thief. Ignore the sticker on it. I'm working on getting the stickers off of all these books. So, but yeah, the Storm Thief. And this one says, Rail and Mo are thieves in a city of chaos. For as long as anyone can remember, Orkros has been lashed by probability storms, violent tempests that change whatever they touch. When a probability storm hits, streets are rearranged, children are turned to glass, rivers break from their banks, and life suddenly becomes death. Nothing is stable. Everyone is vulnerable. So this just sounds so incredibly interesting because it just sounds like chaos. Now, this one, I wouldn't say it necessarily follows the idea of mythology and magic that I keep. However, a storm that can turn things different is kind of magical, I guess. But this one is just the thought of chaos being at every corner every time a storm hits. Is interesting, and it's just, if children are turned to glass, and I don't understand how people survive, so I need to know how everyone survives a storm if people are being turned to glass and life is death. So that's that one. Next. Now this one follows the theme of that previous book, where the book is, I would say there might be more magic in this one, but this one also sounds like extreme chaos. And this one is titled No Passengers Beyond This Point. And it is by Gennifer Choldenko? I don't know. And it's Gennifer with a G, not a J, so I could be saying that wrong. But anyway, the three main characters are India, Finn, and Mouse Tompkins. And anyway, they are three very different kids. Are they? Oh, they are related. They're siblings. Okay, so anyway, they're three siblings who are very, very different from each other. Was it India is more interested in her phone and her friends than her brother and sister. Finn is a quiet kid with a passion for basketball, and Mouse is a talkative genius, used to having all the answers. But somehow these three kids wind up finding themselves in a topsy-turvy world where the city basically doesn't have any logic. So they face a slew of impossible questions that even Mouse can't figure out the answer to. They don't know what's real and what's not. They don't know where they are or even where they're going. They just know that they have to learn how to get back to where they came from. So these three siblings, who are incredibly different, wind up in a crazy city that they don't understand, and they have to find their way back together. So, this next one. At first I wasn't going to grab it. I did put it back, but just the cover and the title spoke to me. Like, I kept walking through the store thinking, no, I need to go find that book. So I went and I got it and I grabbed it, and I didn't even read what it was about until just a few minutes ago, and I find the synopsis interesting. The little cover flat. Interesting, so I do want to read it to you because it speaks that there is a lot going on in this book. But first, anyway, this book is written by Debi, Gliori, something like that, and it is titled Pure Dead Magic. And to read the inside, it says, all is not well at the home of Titus and Pandora, and it has nothing to do with their snot in their Yeti's coat, or their cryogenically preserved ancestor who's beginning to thaw. So what is the problem? Is it that A, their father has been kidnapped, B, their mother is preoccupied with her advanced witchcraft classes, C, their baby sister has been accidentally shrunk, emailed, and lost in the World Wide Web, or D, there's a gangster in a large bunny suit lurking about. Sadly for Titus and Pandora, it's E, all of the above. But their irritatingly cheerful new nanny may be of more help than they could ever imagine. So there's witchcraft, there's kidnapping, there's shrinkage, there's a gangster in a bunny suit. And I mean, that cover, there's a dragon and a spider on the cover. So, what more could you ask for? So much in one little book. Next. So, this next book is actually the last book that I have. I know I said I was going to try to keep this short because so many of them were books that I already had, but I also didn't take into consideration that this was a large book haul. I bought a lot of books at the time, so, oh wow. So anyway, this is the last book that I got, and this one is another book 2, but I looked and I couldn't find book 1, but book 2 looked so cute and so interesting that I just had to have it. So another book that I'm going to be going on a hunt for. Anyway, this one is by N.D.Wilson, and it is titled Dandelion Fire. And anyway, apparently it's about this kid who lives in Kansas, and behind his bedroom wall, I don't know, maybe it was paneling and he ripped it out, I don't know, but he found like cupboards and whatnot, and when he opens those doors, each door takes him each door is a portal to another world, and it says there's hundreds of doors. But anyway, he goes through the cupboards to find the truth about where he's from and who his parents are. So basically from his bedroom, he's traveling everywhere, unimaginable places just to figure out who he is and who his parents are. And also, there is a cute little dragon thing on the cover. Isn't he adorable? Well, the back cover. This is the back cover. But isn't he adorable? He's like a little dragon rhino. That's the best part. I need to know who the little dragon rhino is, because he's adorable. I hope he's a friend. He's cute. He was the big selling point. Like, I was very interested in, 1, the title Dandelion Fire, because I really like dandelions, and then 2, I was also interested in the story of going into multiple doors, taking you to multiple worlds. But, like, he's so cute, though! That's what gets me to buy things. Cute little rhinoceros dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, rhino dragons. Dragosauruses. Dragosaurus. He's a Dragosaurus. I don't know what it actually calls him in here, but I'm going to call him a Dragosaurus until I figure it out, because that works for me. So anyway, that's all the books I've got. There's a lot of them, but hey, I got them for really, really cheap, so it was worth it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope one day I actually do get around to reading them, because I do have that problem where I tend to buy more books than I think I will ever read in my lifetime. So some of these will turn up on my other channel, Lady Audio, where I read books, link in the description, because I finished Love and Thumps. I currently have all of the Seraphina trilogy uploaded and scheduled, and the final chapter should be going public in the next couple of days, and I'm still trying to figure out what story I'm reading next. I have a few ideas, but I guess you will just have to wait and see what I choose. In the meantime, I will see you hopefully next week. I struggle at doing this video every week thing. Even if I have an idea, I just struggle to find the time to make a video. Really sorry about that, but that's just how it is. We need to accept it now. I don't post regularly. So, until next time, whenever that is, my name is Lady. Please like this video if you liked it. Comment if you feel like. I like reading comments. Subscribe, please. The button's down below. And share with all your friends, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.